the start, when you were preparing us for everything, you said, just feel yourself expand, expand, expand. And I'm like, okay, but as soon as you said that, I felt something here, and I saw like circles, like just getting bigger and like ripple in a pond. And I knew that that's indigo, right? That I was viewing everything from that plate. And throughout this inner dance last night, the power of yellow made me realize like I could create things. And I've been struggling with that, you know. And for me, yellow has always been power. And I was able to create what I had wanted, at least for the immediate future. And I was like drawing, I was painting it with my hands. I could feel like energy like shooting from my fingertips, and I could even visualize, and all the visualize like the partner, the job, like how much I needed to get paid, like when I wanted to start, and then the end, like coming back to Maya, and which is like, that's interesting that it was part of the things that I want to create, considering that Maya was not even in my consciousness like 2-3 days ago. And then I extended my arms out and my feet crossed, and I heard Jesus speak, and he said, ask and you shall receive. And then in that position as Jesus, I'm like, I'm Jesus. And that message was total surrender and obedience. And with that came beauty and love. And I was just taken, I was swept away by that feeling. And I felt so light. And again, I was a butterfly. But this time, a really fragile, light butterfly. Still yellow. And then later on, it shifted to, how can I be of service? Like, I'm being called to service, so I was like, how can I be of service? And you had mentioned earlier the blue stone, like we're looking for a blue stone. And look at my right hand, and I saw this stone, like this thing spinning, something blue, like gem-like. I'm like, what is this? And I remember what you said, and it started growing and growing and growing. And it was this big thing. I was helping it grow. I was like moving it, and I realized it was Maya, which was the new earth. And I was like, what's my role in this? And lately, for the past few weeks, I've been working through my heart, and the energy has been coming from it. It's a deep pink. I call it my deep pink big love. And during the inner dance, that came out, and infusing deep pink into this blue, and I completely threaded through it. And my role was to infuse Maya with love. Just love, the whole thing covered in love. Until it got so big that I couldn't contain it. I just had to be like this. Started with the rains, and it came to me that towards the end in December is going to be a gentle destruction, the opening of the new earth. It's going to be constant rain. It's constant. It's not going to be like big cataclysmic things, but it's a constant. It's a deluge to raise platforms to survive that. That was the message I got. And, but it was gentle, you know. It was just, it had to be done. But then with it comes life. After that, towards the latter part, I became Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, you did.
But it was, I was surprisingly praying for the people, praying that they'd be spared. And in my head, because I'm also like, why am I thinking that? Because I want this, you know, like, let's just clean up everything and clean up everybody and all that stuff. And in my, here I was praying for them, just please save them, but not for mercy, but I was praying to God for grace. Just grace, you know that people have the ability to change as I have, so please spare them. but also please give them the grace to transform. The images that came to me were very strong. It started with the sun. It started with the sun. It started with an orange center, and then yellow, and becoming white. I saw a canopy of trees, so all green, and then the deep blue oceans. And then I had in my hand an egg, and it turned into a dove, and then a swan. I had a yellow butterfly and a white butterfly in each hand, and I combined both, and what came out was a butterfly with emerald blue wings edged with black, and it just multiplied, and like I was surrounded by butterflies of that color, kind of showered over me. And then I thought it was over, you know. I was like, okay, this is huge already. I turned on my side and became like a baby, and I started crying because I felt so vulnerable. I felt so anxious and afraid and defenseless, and yeah, I was so scared. And then I remembered yellow, and in my hand was this ball, like a ball of light. And I knew like it was there, like I just had to like gather up the strength to just take it up and accept it and receive it, you know. And that yellow started growing and growing to this thing, and it became gold. And when it became big enough, I turned and I was able to take it in. I took it from the crown of my head all the way all over to the tips of my toes, and then bring it back up again. And as it was coming down, it was like gold, 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 then became yellow. So as it went down, it became more yellow, less gold. And I brought it up again, and I knew it was like my will making that, like I've chosen to do this. And then I ended up here, and it became bigger and bigger and bigger. This huge ball of gold from the yellow. And I was blessing everyone. I was sending it out to everyone and everything. Like I feel like my fingertips, even as I speak, just shooting energy. So I was just blessing, blessing, blessing. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm done. So finally I lay down there. I couldn't move. I'm like, I'm spent. Like there's, what else can I do, you know? And I just couldn't move. I wasn't sleeping. I just couldn't move. Then the music came on. I'm like, okay, it's not done yet. I'm like, okay. And then I pressed a few things, and I opened up. And then yellow balls of light came up, like a necklace. And then when I realized, that's my turn to receive. Because I was just service giving, blessing, and although it didn't come from me, but it had to come out. And then, I was just so overwhelmed with gratitude, just to receive. Go balls of light strung together. And then that's when it happened. Power, you said, and I became the sun. And it's like, this is who I am. This is my nature, and all that power. And it was coming from the divine. You know, it wasn't just who I am, but it was a gift, like this receiving of abundance, of power and all that stuff was grace from God. And my recognizing that I am power, I am the sun, I am the light, it's God. So I was just so overwhelmed with gratitude for being that, for recognizing that. And I'm just like, I remember this, when it's gonna come a time down the road, but remember. And then I thought I heard you say fly. I stood up, and even then I became even lighter, like the vibration just sped up. And my body became completely transparent. And so just dots. Instead of me, just dots, clear dots. And then the wind picked up. And I knew it was like, and I could feel the wind going through me. And I was one with the wind. But the interesting thing is because I had to pee. So I was completely grounded like down here, right? But then I also recognize that the duality,
You were there, yeah.
of existence, you know, and I accepted that. And but this is how we navigate the world here on this earthly plane. We're beings of light with this, but we also are grounded by the density and the reality of physical laws. And how do you live with that? And be in a state of grace, with no judgment, and just remember. It's like remembering that we are beings of light and accepting that the limitations of our physical bodies. And yeah, and the funny thing is, like, towards the end, when I was sitting down, I was just so grateful, giving thanks. It's just, I know you put your hand here, and I didn't have to breathe. Like, my breathing became super shallow because I was taking life from all, like every atom of my being. It's just super light. But then I didn't have this. It's like all here, like life entering the holes in my body, you know. And now it's like pretty, yeah. Life is just here. It permeates us, and so we're not even limited by our biology. It's just, wow, thank you. It's just, that's, yeah.